All right, going live in 3, 2, 1. Well, this is TNZ episode number 33. We got Tina on today. How are you doing today, Tina? Big smile.
Hello. Yay. Yeah, I just got done with work. Came over to talk some midnight run. And I've been getting up at 2:45 in the morning.
What, what
So
what time was that again? What time in the morning?
I get up at my new schedule. I get up at 2:45 in the morning.
Oh, 2:45. Oh, goodness.
hmm
That means you got to go to bed really early then.
Yeah, so I go to bed at like 7, 8 o'clock now.
Oh, okay.
Never in my life. Never in my life, but um, it's worth it. It's worth it. It's a fun
Is,
job.
is it something you'd like to talk about or
Um,
no? That's okay. I just thought I'd ask.
all I can really say is I'm in the probation period,
Okay.
so I don't want to ruin anything. But all I can say is that I'm working with the public in a very unique job, and it's fun, but very difficult and very stressful.
Uh,
But my supervisor says I'm the best new hire out of 3 people, and she really likes me. She's also the person who did my interview. Like it was like a hiring fair. So she's like, "Oh, I need you to do really well because if you do really well and I'm the one who picked you, they're gonna look at me really good." And I was like, "Okay, is that why you want me to do well, or do you just you know what I mean? Are you in it for you or are you in it for both of us?"
all right. All
But
right.
she's nice. Yeah, it's nice. It's a fun job, just learning the ropes now. I'm also going to be sent on a work trip uh, for 10 days on Monday. So I am going to have to miss our regularly scheduled time, but we will talk more about the show after, I'm sure, after the show.
Okay. Sounds good. Yeah, we'll reschedule that around a little bit. So, but we'll still have Tina on a regular basis of some sort there. So, and uh, the as far before we go too far, I want to remind everybody if you'd like to support what we're doing, we have an affiliate link for NordVPN in the description below, and that will it can protect your identity. You can hide your location. You can. Several people said you can watch movies, streaming services from different parts of the world where they would normally be blocked. And if you, I think the last time I looked, it was a nice deal. I forget remember the exact percentage off you get, but it's for 2 years. You get a much cheaper rate than you would get if you get the normal service through us. So if you decide to purchase that, we appreciate that. Um, I guess no, you don't have anything you want to promote, do you? I always forget to ask you. Do you want to promote anything, Tina? No.
No,
Okay, that's fine. That's fine.
no,
Okay.
no.
All righty. Well, let's check our question from our last show. Let me bring. Oops, I'm not prepared for that. It was the. Hold on a second. It was the classic cartoon creators. I'm bringing it up right now. I don't remember exactly how it was worded. Okay, here we go. Wait a second while I bring it up on the screen. Oops, my mouse is not working. There we go. All right. There we go. So, question was, who is your favorite creator of classic cartoons? 2,100 votes, which is pretty decent.
That is?
Uh, there. Okay, so Disney at three overwhelmingly 75%. Let's see,
Wow.
next 11% with Warner Brothers, 8% with Hanna Barbera MGM, and 4% with Your Choice, and only Tex Avery only gets a little tiny 2% there. So interesting. Let's see. Let's see down below. You can't see the name. I'm not sure what the name is. It says Man of Action. Not sure what that is. Do you know what Man of Action is?
No, I don't.
Okay. David says all of them. Kane says Warner Brothers. I'm not sure what this says right here. Sorry. Uh, none or none. And it says Paramount both. Both. I'm sorry. What both means.
I'm not sure.
Kiss Best Fan says Hanna Barbera for the win.
Kiss
and
Best fan. We are always on the same page.
we
Thank
got
you.
another none at the bottom there. So
Okay. Well, lots of. I'm surprised. I'm surprised Disney has so many, but I'm also not. I just thought there'd be a little more. What is it? Variance, a little more variety in there. Um, Warner Brothers had so many. It doesn't even. It's not even a competition.
yeah,
Like,
and Disney was basically just copying other things. They were most of their stories are they're just basically older stories. They were just remaking them. So it's not like
yeah, they were not first to the game here.
oh, perhaps people are talking about Disney nowadays because they own so much. I don't know. So maybe they're getting confused with the classic stuff versus the modern stuff. Could be that as well.
Probably.
So because they're still very much making cartoons, whereas the other ones, Hanna-Barbera technically doesn't make them anymore. Warner Brothers barely makes anything. Tex Avery's long since stopped doing it. So maybe that could be the reason why. I'm guessing, but because I agree that you think the other ones would get higher numbers based on
Yeah,
just
even
classic cartoons only.
I mean, what 11%? That's nothing.
Yeah, no, yeah. So I can't even I can't remember. Do they even make very periodically? They make some cartoons, but not very many. So, but they were very
Mm-mm,
popular in the day. So,
right.
all right. Well, we anything else you'd like to add to that?
Nope. If you haven't watched Who Framed Roger Rabbit, do it.
Yes. Yes. And you getting back to Who Framed, that's what this question was based on. You had seen it when it first came out, right? Or did you? I can't remember.
No, I had very traumatic childhood memories associated
That's
with the movie.
that. Yeah, you were scared by it. That's what I remember. That's what I was trying to remember. Yes. Yes.
I was so scared and confused.
So, as an adult, though, do any of those fears come out again?
Um, yeah, it's like, oh, okay, it's okay. The baby's not real, kind of thing. But I'm okay now. I'm settled down.
Okay. All righty. Well, let's ask our. Oh, we got a little poll. Would you like to answer that? How satisfied are you with creating posts on YouTube today?
Well, we haven't created one yet today. Um,
We give. How about we base it on the one that we just read?
I'd give it a smile. I'd give it a smile. I wouldn't give it a super smile because I do wish they had more options or multiple choice. So,
Ah,
but for the most part, I am
so this
pleased.
right there. There we go. Please tell us why. Everything as expected. My posts are getting good engagement. I like the features present in the post creation. No, I don't. You don't want that one. We would leave that one out.
Maybe I should have put a frown,
Oh,
but I'm in a good mood, so I put a yes. Smiling. We'll
uh,
put something else. Maybe able to connect with my audience. We'll do that.
back to my
Thanks.
audience. Okay. All right. There we
That's
go.
true.
There we go. Cool. All right. So our question for today is based on our movie review, which would be based on the movie Midnight Run, which is about a bounty hunter. So
Yeah. So my question is, would you be the bounty hunter or the bail jumper? So would you be the guy, the pursuer, or the person on the run? You know, got away with the big thing, or would you be the chaos bringer that a bounty hunter is? Because like Zoom and I had mentioned, bounty hunters aren't automatically good people. Like they have their own motivations, and that's just an interesting dynamic, especially when you're like with the person, like in this movie. So, like, would you rather be the bounty hunter or the bail jumper?
bail jumper. Excuse me. Excuse me. Jumper. There you go. And leave a comment too. So
Yeah.
there we go. Okay. Okay. So I guess we'll make the first one the bounty hunter.
Hmm.
How many things? Uppercase B. Bail Jumper. Okay. Anything else? Neither, maybe.
Say The Judge.
The Judge. Okay.
Neither.
Neither. Okay.
Like none of these or something.
None. I would just put none.
Okay.
That's good. Okay. Does that look good?
Mm-hmm.
Would you rather be the bounty hunter or the bail jumper? Bounty hunter. Okay. Okay. Here we go. I'll post that. There we go. Cool. So we can come back to that one.
Mm-hmm.
All right. So the and everyone who's watching, just click on go to the community tab on the front of the channel, and that's where you can participate in that on our question there. So, all right. So the movie for today is Midnight Run, and had you ever heard or seen this movie before?
So I had never heard of this movie, and I've never seen it. I have not seen Robert De Niro in many comedy roles. I'll be honest, the only comedy movie I've ever seen him in is Meet the Parents. So I wouldn't want to judge all of his comedy based on that movie. Just because, I mean, don't get me wrong, Meet the Parents is funny, but he's a pretty talented guy. So I wanted to give him another chance with comedy. And I really like this movie. I like buddy movies, especially like road trip buddy movies. So I thought it was really good just in that kind of setting for me. Like I love like Planes, Trains, and Automobiles. I love that movie.
Ah,
So I like buddy movies, and this was a good one. This was a great one.
okay. Well, the this movie I saw it when it was brand new in the theaters, so I liked it a lot. The it was supposed to get it was getting a lot of hype when it came out. A lot of people it was the people who produced the movie or the studio executives thought this was going to be a big seller because it was directed by the same guy who did Beverly Hills Cop. Have you ever seen Beverly Hills Cop?
I haven't, but I'm sure everyone knows about that. Like everyone's heard of that movie. I've
Yeah.
never seen it, but everyone knows that movie.
And there's some of the people that are in that movie, a handful, like one or not very many, a couple of people are who are in that movie or in this movie as well. And the director, same director, Martin Brest. So they thought this was going to be just as good as that movie, but it turned out not to do very good. So it did very poorly when it came out in the theaters. So
Do you
over
think
the
people just
years,
had like cop burnout?
I don't know. I'm not sure. It just didn't get received well. It has a very high production quality though. If you watch the movie, it seems like it was done with the music by Danny Elfman. You have a lot of stars like Robert De Niro, Charles Grodin, Yaphet Kotto. Those are the three out the top. That they've been in a lot of movies and TV shows, and some of the other actors are also pretty. Been in a lot of movies. So it's not like the cast is unknown. So it just for some reason just didn't. The audiences didn't like it. Critics kind of didn't really care for it too much, so it just kind of fell down and down not to the bottom
Hmm.
pretty quickly. And over the years, it's gained more of what they call a cult following. So it's more popular now, I guess, than it would be back then. I guess to a select group of people. So
Yeah, I would have never expected that. I really liked it.
mhm. Now the movie where they were, I liked it a lot, and I would follow it on the internet once in a while. There was about 5 or 6 years ago, they talk about making an official sequel that where they were going to have Charles Grodin and Robert De Niro come back and reprise their roles because they actually, from what I've read, they really liked working with each other in this movie. They got along really well, which is really nice when you realize in real life they actually got along versus actually fighting. So they were going to do it, but unfortunately Charles Grodin passed away about last year. So
Oh,
so I don't think
that's too bad.
they're not going to have a see. If they do, obviously it'd just be Robert De Niro and someone else. But the chemistry between the two of them was actually pretty good, I thought. Yeah.
I 100% agree.
There was technically three sequels to this movie that were made for TV movies. There were, but they eliminated the Charles Grodin character completely, and it was just based on the Robert De Niro character, which was Jack Walsh, and it was just basically him going after other bounties. And it wasn't. I didn't like them, so I wouldn't recommend them. But it's not too many people found them to be very entertaining. I tried to watch and sit through. They're a chore to sit through. It's not like this movie at all. So since they were made for TV movies, it's different actors, which I can accept that. But the fact that they wrote out the Charles Grodin character just didn't really make it. It just made me feel like, why should I bother watching it? You know, that was the whole thing about the movie, was the two of them, the interaction, and it just didn't feel right. So,
Mm-hmm.
and let me see, I'll bring up just to have them up here. Uh, Here's a list of them. They all came out in '94. Another Midnight Run, Midnight Runaround, and Midnight Run for Your Life. So if anyone's interested,
Okay, those Midnight Run for Your Life. That just sounds no. That just sounds like a bad movie.
and they
Sounds
weren't
like
done. What were there? They were not written or directed by the same people either. So it
nope.
no. So all right. So the from what the Yaphet Kodo, I think I'm pronouncing his name correctly. Let me bring him up. I've seen him in a lot of movies, or at least a few movies I like. I should say he was an Alien. Um, he was in one of the early James Bond movies from the 1970s. Live and Let Die. 19, I think it was 73. So every time he's in something, he's always very, very good. So I was like, he's such a good actor that I don't recognize him as being the same person because he has such a wide range.
Oh,
So
that's a good actor.
yeah,
That's talent.
and so I think he did a great job in this one. I'm bringing him up first because he said that Martin Brest. He said he liked working with Charles Grodin. I was watching some behind the scenes stuff on this. He liked working with both Charles Grodin and Robert De Niro, but he said he did not like working with Martin Brest, the director. And he actually referred to him. He referred to him as using a German name like Monführer or something like that. That's how much he did not get along with him, apparently. So apparently Martin Brest was not an easy person to get along with during the production of the movie. Other than
Mm.
that, most of the people actually got along. It's just the director was just apparently several people have said he just could not get along with most of the people.
Oh,
So, which is kind of strange.
yeah.
Then we got Robert De Niro, of course, who's been in several movies, and as you said, he's not been in very many comedies. I was trying to. You said Meet the Family. Wasn't there another one called Meet the Fockers too?
So it's Meet the Parents,
Oh,
and then the sequel, Meet the Fockers.
Okay, okay, okay. And you're right. I can't think of any other movies where he's more comedy. You're right. So this one is he's more laid back in this movie. So,
Yeah, I was really surprised. Because he's a tough guy.
mhm.
A tough New York kind of guy. He's just that guy.
And we got
But
Charles Grodin, who he's been in different movies. I can't think of too many movies he's been in that I can remember. Oh, the King Kong movie from 1978. I forgot he was in that one. So or 76, excuse me. But he was pretty good in this one. I just don't remember too many things that he's been in. I just remember him for this movie all the time. So the basic plot of the movie is we meet Jack Walsh, who's played by Robert De Niro, and he's bringing in a bounty right here. And we
he's
get
so much younger too. That's the thing.
Robert De Niro, yes,
Yeah, he's so young in this.
and he's bringing in the bounty. If you ever want to see very young Robert De Niro, watch Taxi Driver. You ever seen that movie?
He is like a baby in that movie.
I know. I have not seen the movie all the way through. I've just seen little scenes here and there. I'm like, is that Robert De Niro? I can't believe that's him. So that's how different he looks.
That's Bob De Niro. He's still a young one. That's Bobby.
Bobby.
That's not Robert yet.
So we got this actor right here. He's been in a lot of movies as well. In fact, I didn't recognize him immediately, even though I've seen this movie a few times. He's been I forget his name off the top. Joe Pontelanio. It's an Italian name. He actually, a lot of people have problems pronouncing his last name, so he goes by Joe Pants. So just to make it simpler for people. So, but he's been in The Matrix. He's been in I forget what other movies, but he's been in a lot of movies as well. And he looks so radically different. I didn't recognize him right away because he does this really cheap comb over on purpose, the goatee and the mustache. He's trying to make himself look all sleazy. So And from what I saw in the behind the scenes, he was going to play one of the two Italian mobster guys that was chasing after him, but he didn't like that, so he was able to convince him to be the bail bondsman instead. So,
Mm.
but I think he does a pretty decent, really good job in this movie. So, very unlikable. So, so
Yeah,
the
that's for sure.
the premise of the movie is Jack Walsh is going after the Duke, which is played by Charles Grodin, and the Duke is short for Mardukas, his last name, and Jonathan Mardukas. So, and basically, there's a lot of tie-ins between the whole movie. The Duke stole money from the mob boss. What's his name? I forget his name off the top of my head. Oh, Jimmy
Um,
Serrano.
yes, Serrano.
Serrano. And the thing is that Jimmy Serrano is also the guy that had forced Jack Walsh's character out of the police department like a decade earlier, roughly, from the Chicago. So both of the main characters in this movie were affected by the Duke. I'm sorry, were affected by Serrano. So, and they don't realize that till later on till the movie. Well, Jack Walsh does, but the Duke doesn't realize that till later on in the movie. So, the whole premise is that he's going to bring back the Duke, and this time he doesn't have to answer to Sereno, and this is his way of getting back at Sereno for what he did to him back in a decade earlier. So, and the Duke himself, he stole money and millions of dollars, and supposedly allegedly gave it away to a bunch of to help people, a bunch of poor people, and the as the movie progresses, we find out the FBI, and this is Yaphet Kotto. Yaphet Kotto's character is Alonzo Mosley, whose name gets thrown around a lot. A lot of people, a few different people pretend they're him. That includes both Robert De Niro's character and Charles Grodin's character. And he wants to bring Serrano in on his own. He wants to bring him in. He doesn't want anyone else bringing him in on any other charges. So we have this complicated. The plot gets more complicated as the story goes along. Complex, I should say. And so he's telling him that he doesn't want the Duke brought in. He wants so he steals. He decides to ignore them. He's going to go after him anyway. And so then we were introduced to the mafia. The mafia says they can give him money, and he says, "No, I don't want your money," because he doesn't want the dirty money. So as the story progresses, we learn that bounty hunters are doing things by unscrupulous means. He's able to get the Duke by just tapping into his phone somehow, which they don't exactly explain how that works back in the 1980s. Because
That wasn't a common practice back then.
well, it's just that I could see something like this nowadays, like with a cell phone, but it just shows a tape recorder on the seat of his car. How is he tapping into the wire? I mean, what kind of tap does he have back in the 1980s? It doesn't make any sense. So you're just
Top
supposed to,
secret FBI
yeah,
wire.
yeah, just don't think about it. Exactly. So he's able to catch the Duke. He's going on his way back. Now the mafia and the FBI are now after him. There's Sereno. That's the guy that's causing the problem for both the other two characters. As they go along, it turns out that they can't. The trip is going to be much longer than 2 hours because they're going to have to travel originally by train, then by bus. As you brought up the movie Planes, Trains, and Automobiles. That's where the similarity comes into play.
Exactly. Yes.
And as the story progresses, the two characters grow to appreciate and like each other more. And we're introduced to Marvin. I forget his name. Marvin Dorfler. So Marvin Dorfler is played by John Ashton, and John Ashton is one of the actors that was from Beverly Hills Cop. He played one of the cops in that movie. So in this one, he's playing another fellow bounty hunter. So, and he's kind of a slightly dim-witted person. He's able to be Jack Walsh can usually outsmart him, but then he's not as dumb as he seems because he's able to get John. He's able to locate where the two of them are located by tracing Jack Walsh's credit card, and which I thought was a weird scene. He calls up the credit card company right here, and he says, where did I last? He pretends to be Jack Walsh, and he says, "Where did I last use my credit card?" And they said, "Oh, at the train station." Oh, okay, yeah, I remember. So like he's able to figure out where Jack Walsh is located by that. But then he says, "Why don't you cancel the credit card?" Which is funny for the movie, but in real life, if he cancels the credit card, then how's he going to be able to track him any further? So
Right. Yeah.
it's, it's a funny scene for the movie, but in reality, it wouldn't make any sense. So
Yeah.
they have a lot of interaction with these two. That he talks about what he wants to do with the money. He wants to open his own coffee shop, and the Duke says no. That would be he would recommend. It's not a good idea if I was your accountant. It would be most coffee shops go under within the first year or so, and so the banter goes back and forth, and there's a lot of the interaction, like he says he left a tip, and he said it was only a 13% tip, and he says no, you got to leave 15%. It's the little jokes right there, just keep on going back and forth. They get funny, or pretty funny, I think. So then we get the scene. Yeah, the, oh yeah, the Dorfler gets arrested, and that's when the FBI comes in. Now they're coming in, and they've been monitoring the phone calls as well. The way the mafia is getting their information is because the guy that's working for the Bell Bondsman is just eavesdropping and relaying the information to his affiliates with the mob. So now they're on the bus, and when they get to Chicago, there's one of the mafia people try to shoot them, and they get away in a car, a police car. So then they go to an FBI car. Then we get a chance to see Jack Walsh's ex-wife and his kid, and I thought it was when they were getting ready to argue. They're starting to argue, and then when the kid comes in, that's when he gets more emotional. And I thought it was a nice scene. Um, she gives him the money in the car, and his daughter wants to give him money. He says, "No, I can't do that." Showing how good he doesn't want to take advantage of his daughter in any way. So as we progress, we get to more of the banter back and forth. Let's see. Anything? Would you like to add anything to what I'm saying so far?
I mean, I think the goal of this movie so far is just like you really have to watch the buddy moments between everybody. I think these two are hilarious together. Um, I think it's always a fun story of guy who doesn't want to like this person ends up liking the guy, or they find something in common, or they have like they're won over in some way. Um, I think it's good. I think a lot of 90s movies also kind of talk about like ex-wives, like that's a thing, like split up partners. So I was like, okay, typical 90s movie have like an ex-wife.
Oh, do they?
um
I didn't notice that.
I just feel like that. I just, do you not think that? I kind of do. I
You're,
just kind of like
probably right. I
thing.
just never realized that. I just never realized.
Yeah, I just feel like the guy, it's like like the ex-wife is always at home at her new house. I don't
Mhm.
know. I don't know.
The
Maybe
I
I'm just
was
like picking that up.
No, I think you're right, because in some way, or maybe they lost a wife in some way.
Yeah.
Like
Yeah.
the have you ever seen the what's another buddy movies? Danny Glover and Mel Gibson. Um,
I know this. I know this.
they did 4 movies together. Remember remember the name of the movie. Hold on, I'll bring it up here. But the same kind of premise in that one. Um, Mel Gibson's wife had been killed in the first movie, so he lost his wife.
That's Lethal Weapon.
Lethal Weapon, yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
So, and then one of the first movies, which is not very popular, was a movie that came out in '86. Before that, called Running Scared, which starred 2 actors which are kind of well known. And in that movie, hold on, let me bring that up real quick. Hold on. 86. Gregory Hines. I'll bring it up here. Gregory Hines and Billy Crystal. And Billy Crystal, they're like buddy cops in that one. And in that one, Billy Crystal is broken up with his wife. So that's another example of what you're saying about that. At the end of that movie,
Yeah.
they get back together. It's not really giving much away in that though. So
Yeah. I think this was like a time period of like rejecting normal marriage and like factoring in different marriage situations, I guess. I don't know. I just feel like that's a theme of the 90s. But yeah, I think this movie is the chaos because like even look at this scene, they're all three sitting in the car together. Like it's just good old classic type of fun buddy type of movie. And I personally really like that. Like those are the types of movies I was a
Mhm.
big fan of. Um Lots of good lines in the movie, just kind of, lots of like the tip scene where it's just like kind of rabble like blah 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 kind of things. Like that's funny. I thought, like, oh, what are you doing? What do you mean? No, do that kind of like I like that stuff. I think this is a really fun movie.
Mhm. Before we go too far, we got In the Shadow of Mafia saying hi. Hi back.
Hello.
So yeah, and this scene is also a funny scene where they're being shot by the mafia, the helicopter, and the Charles Grodin is always trying to. He's always saying he's going to get away. He's not trying to hide that he's going to get away, and so he's always saying he can't. At the very beginning of the movie, he says he's afraid of flying. It turns out actually later on he's a pilot. So
Yeah.
yeah, he's always trying to. But at the same time, he still respects the two of them are gaining their trust and friendship, and it's getting strong. The bond between them is getting stronger. Uh, they come to a small Indian reservation, and this is where he finds out he's a pilot. So and that's still the truck. This scene right here. This is one of the good comical scenes where Charles Grodin takes the lead, and he's pretending to be Alonzo Mosley. Originally, Robert De Niro's character, he was pretending to be Alonzo Mosley. So everyone, I do remember when during the one of the initial trailers for this movie, it said something to the effect, "Who is Alonzo Mosley?" Because they showed all three people pretending to be Alonzo Mosley. That was one of the gimmicks in the trailer for the original movie. I remember seeing that. So this whole scene with the litmus configuration, trying to figure out if the money is fake, is pretty good. And they just this thing gets the money so they can buy some stuff, uh, which is kind of funny. I mean, if they're going to do that, why don't they just go in and like pretend they're the FBI and maybe get food for free? I don't know. Instead of getting the money to get the food, you could just maybe try to say we're trying to confiscate the food somehow legally or something.
Right.
So as this part right here, they this is where they share more happy moments together, more bonding, and they become more friends. They we have the big chase scene here, and this scene is kind of interesting. He walks in, he's down, everything's like, okay, it's been one of those days. And what I find odd is he walked into the restaurant, this little diner, and standing next to him are all these police officers. He didn't see them when he walked in. So let's see. Let's see if I can get there. Oops. Let's see here. Oh, we can't see it. Oh, figures. Hold on. There we go. Right there. So, so all these people were standing in there
Yep.
when you walked in. So it's one of those things where it's, you're just supposed to not worry about it. But so they catch up with him. Uh, this is where they talks about the plan to catch Sereno all along. The what's his name? Charles Gordon's character, the Duke, says his plan was if he got away, he was going to take all the records and put them on discs so he could use that against him if he ever got in trouble. But unfortunately, he had to go on the run before he had a chance to put all the records on the discs. So they don't actually have the records. So the whole thing is to trick Sereno into entering the airport which is basically what they refer to as an overt act. The whole plan is to catch him and doing this illegal activity in the airport. And so what happens is, and I want to say this right here. If I remember correctly, this might be gone right there. This casino, see, it says Bailey's in the background. I
Hmm.
actually stayed at this hotel I don't think it's there anymore.
Oh, really? What hotel?
It's called Bally's. I'm sorry, Bally's.
Oh, Bolly's.
Yeah,
Oh,
it's a
I
hotel.
don't recognize the name.
Yeah, and I do remember it was really nice. It was like 2 years after this movie came out, and it was like $20 a night, which like dirt cheap. So, and
Wow.
I was like, yeah, that sounds good. Of course, they have a big casino inside, so they're hoping you'll spend more money on the casino. I assume that's why it was so cheap. So,
Yeah, that and they probably didn't clean it.
actually, it was pretty nice. Actually, it was
Oh,
pretty
that's
clean.
good.
Yeah, it was on the strip, so everything on the strip is very very clean.
Okay, good.
Anyway, the but like I think I'm pretty sure that it's gone now. So I looked it up recently. I couldn't find it anywhere. So it's probably been torn down since
The rates were just too good.
then. Yeah. The you go down to McLaren, the airport. This is where they catch Serrano. The whole thing it builds up to tension, and they finally catch Serrano, and Jack Walsh gets to say you're under arrest, which is something he's been wanting to do for a long time. The Duke does not get
Yeah.
killed. Yeah. So he gets the end of the movie. Jack Walsh, the character, does not get back with his wife or his kid, but he does get a little bit of satisfaction in knowing that the person who ruined his life is being placed under arrest.
Justice has been served.
And I would be kind of scared at that point because I would think he might come after him because Serrano would have all these people outside of prison. He might be locked up and he still has to go to court. So he's probably going to get out on bail regardless. So he can still come after him. So, but
Yeah, that's the risk you run as a bounty hunter.
that's true. And the Duke does not get killed. So we,
Yay.
as we finally go on our last little flight from McCarran, excuse me, which is on Las Vegas to Los Angeles International. And when he gets there, he says, I'm going to let you go. And we got a little emotional scene where he says, hey, I got some money here for you. That's not a bribe. He wants to make sure because Jack Walsh never takes bribes. He's he's very principled in that way. And he gives him $300,000 or 350, whatever it is. And the bond is very strong between them. And then they walk away and that's the end of the movie. So,
Yep. Yeah, I mean, I feel like it is true in like in some ways though. Like when you meet someone that's like really awesome and you have like a good like friendship going, but you both know it's temporary and then you like leave, that's always like a man, like I wish I could be friends with them forever, but it just won't work. You know what I'm saying? Have you ever had that experience kind of thing where it's maybe like you've met people where you're like, I'm never going to see this person again, but they're awesome.
trying to think. Probably, but no one's coming to mind right now. But
Yeah, same here, same. But I've had those moments where I'm like, man, I wish we could be friends, like, and you lived where I live, but and then it just kind of that person goes on with their life and their world, and I go on with mine, and yeah, it does happen. But yeah, I love this movie. I thought it was great.
mhm. And I wanted to bring up Martin Brest. Apparently, I did some looking up on him. Uh, he did obviously Beverly Hills Cop, which he's well known for. The Scent of a Woman, and people said his career after he did this movie. Have you ever heard of this movie? I don't pronounce it. Giggly. Not sure how to pronounce it.
No, no, I've never heard that.
Apparently, after this movie came out, this was a flop. As you can see, the number is like 2.6 stars, which is really, really low.
Um, yeah, it doesn't sound very good.
After that, that's his career took a nosedive, and that was 19 years ago, and he hasn't done anything since. So,
Oh, uh-oh.
so, and apparently, from what I also heard, Ben Affleck and the woman that's in this, the love interest, also don't like to discuss being in this movie because it was so bad, apparently. So, I just bring it up because I thought he did a decent job on this movie. But unfortunately, but behind the scenes, it sounded like he wasn't very easy to work with. Uh,
Oh,
so according to Yaphet Kodo said that. So, and I would say, I hope I'm pronouncing his name right. I think it's Yaphet Kodo. So like I said, he's always I like the movies, the things I've seen him in. He's always pretty good. Um, the it's everybody seemed to get along. It's just he wasn't a just what it was just was he was just hard to work with, the director. So, and maybe that's why the other movies didn't do very well. I don't know. So, as you can
Mm.
see, the rating right now is 7.5, which is pretty decent out of that. As far as the movie, you would recommend this, I assume. Would you recommend this to people?
Yeah, definitely. I definitely would. It's not out of this world, but if you like buddy movies, I would definitely give this, buddy movies like 80s, 90s era. I would give it a
Mhm.
go for sure.
Yeah. So, have you seen the Lethal Weapon movies since we talked about that?
No, I
Okay.
have not.
Okay. The yeah, that's another one. Then I showed the one Running Scared, and I'm trying to remember of any others. They call them buddy cop movies, where
Yeah.
technically, even though these guys aren't cops, it still follows that same.
Yeah, right. I don't like cop movies like that. But this one I will let pass.
Okay. uh, the let's see. It, anything else you'd like to add about this movie? I'm trying to think of anything else.
Not really. I don't have much to say. I mean, it was good. Like it was, they had funny moments. Like when they were faking the panic attack on the plane. Like that was a funny scene. Like there are some good scenes where it's just strict comedy. So, and it is like unlike any other Robert De Niro movie. So if you like him, I mean, definitely give this a watch. But it's just it's just a solid movie.
Mhm. And I will say, the movie that I also Beverly Hills Cop. I like that when that came out, which is kind of interesting because I tried to watch it a few years ago and I couldn't get through that movie. It just made my I guess my tastes have changed, but I can get through this one very
Mm.
easily. I can sit through this and watch it from beginning to end. But that one I cannot get through anymore. I don't know. Maybe it's just the comedy doesn't hold up for me. I don't know. I do. If anyone else feels the same. Only reason I make the comparison is because they really, when this movie came out, they were really trying to push the fact that this was similar to Beverly Hills Cop in that way. So it
Yeah, I think maybe people were just burnt out by it or something.
was possible, yeah. So, and we got a little. I'll put it up here real quick. Uh, I Love You by D36Y with
Oh,
little two little hearts. So,
oh, we love you too.
alrighty. So, what would you give the final score of this movie?
I'm feeling generous today. I'm in a good mood. I'm gonna give it a 7.
7? Okay.
That's high on my personal ratings, but yeah, I mean it's better than average, but it's not out of this world and not knocked out of the park. I think it's good. I think it's a good movie.
Okay. Well, I got to say I have a slight bias because when I first watched this, I was I just started living on my own for the first time, so I was
Oh,
very hard to, when you're first living on your own, it can be very difficult. So, and so this movie came out and it made me feel good at the time. And so it reminds me of you know finding something to be happy or make me feel happy when I was going through a very hard time. Just trying to figure out how to pay bills and find a place to live and all that stuff. This was really this was here and it made me feel better when I knew that it was there to watch.
oh, that's so sweet.
So I'll give it a 8.5 on this one.
Nice.
And if it's on, I'll watch it. And also the one of the things I wanted to add was Danny Elfman's score. I really liked it, and I wanted to find the DVD for it back in the day. And I was in a music store one day, and I just happened to. It was like I just happened to find it. I was looking all over for it. This was before the internet, and I was like, I found it, and I was so excited to find the DVD for this movie. So nowadays it doesn't really matter. You can just go on the internet and find it. But back then it was like very hard to find. So was like about 10 years after the movie came out, at least. And it was actually, I've been looking for a while, and I was like, oh my goodness, I actually found Danny Elfman's score to this movie. So,
Nice.
uh, but okay. Anything else you'd like to add?
Oh, not really. No, I don't.
You ever been to Vegas?
No, no. When I worked at the casino, a lot of my friends had.
Okay, because Vegas, this is if it's hard to describe unless you're there, but Vegas, the strip is very, very, very clean, extremely clean. I mean, unbelievably
Oh,
clean. So everything is it does you look at this here, you can't really tell, but it's immensely clean. They make sure that everything is pristine.
like
Just-
perfect.
oh yes, very much so. The buildings, the streets, everything is just sparkling. So
Nice. Maybe I will go there because I'm interested to see that.
and I just be careful. Obviously, you don't want to. I didn't have any issues with, but I remember people looking at me like maybe they're walking down the streets, like maybe they're going to try to take my like try to mug me or something a few times. That's it didn't actually occur, but it looked like there's some unscrupulous people walking around that may try to steal things from you. But most other than that, it's just a very clean place. So,
Nice. Cool.
alrighty. Well, let me go ahead and bring up our question from earlier. Let's see what we got. I don't know. Okay, looks like you got a relatively decent start so far. 47 votes. And would you rather be the bounty hunter or the bail jumper? And almost half saying the bail jumper at 49%. That's interesting.
Oh, you know what though? A lot of your fans are um
Grand
fan
Theft
like
Auto fans.
yeah, GTA. I couldn't think of the acronym. The you play as the bad guy. You
Yeah.
play as the guy on the run, so that doesn't surprise me.
Yeah. So the bounty hunter getting at 32%, 13% with the judge, and only 6% with none. And let me
Hmm.
see. We got no comments. No comments so far.
Okay.
That's interesting. So, did you say who you'd like to be?
I'd probably be the judge myself.
Oh, the judge. Oh, okay.
Yep. What
The
about you?
hmm. I would think it might be fun to play the part of the bail jumper and possibly the bounty hunter. Not the judge, maybe, but I can see jumping back and forth between the first two and just trying one.
You're a bail jumper kind of guy.
Yeah, probably. Yeah.
He's like, yeah, probably.
So, alrighty. So, anything else you'd like to add before we wrap everything up?
It's a wrap for me.
Okay. Well, thanks everybody for watching. And if you'd like, you can leave a comment in the video for the video below, and we'll try to make sure to read through those if you leave any. Also, you can leave a comment on this. We'll come back to this for our next show. Do you have any ideas what you'd like to watch for our next movie? Did you want
I
to?
don't, so I'm totally open to anything.
Okay. We talked about doing The Godfather. Originally, we were going to do that, so maybe we might be able to do that.
Yeah, that'd be a good one.
So have you ever seen The Godfather?
No.
No, okay, I have not either. So
Nope.
I hear a lot of people say it's a really, really good movie. I've also heard a lot of people say the sequel's a good movie, but the third one is when they say no, that's like really, really bad. So I don't know.
I draw the line at the third.
Yes. So, alrighty. Thanks everyone. If you'd like to support what we're doing, we have the affiliate link for NordVPN in the description below. And if you'd like to help, if you I know it gets. I know the percentage is. Hold on a second. I can tell you. Let me click on it real quick. Bringing it up on my other computer. Yeah, right now it's they're getting 60% off. So if you get to right now, you get your deal at 60% off, which is pretty good. They're offering it for $3.29. That's USD a month, and that's actually a pretty decent deal. I think I paid about that same amount. And when I use the service, I definitely worked just as I said it would. I had no problems using it, connecting everything works really well. So, and if you decide to purchase the service, that helps what we're doing here. We really appreciate it.
Really do appreciate that. Thank you.
Righty, cool. All right, everybody. We'll see you next time.
Peace out.